Hello, it's Jane. How are you? I'm good. Right, well, it's the juice of June, which just means let's do lots of watercolour in June. And there are prompts which are here. I haven't posted them on my blog yet, but I've put them in the Facebook group and in our community tab. Oh, wait a minute, it might just be in the members one. I'll put them on the blog for sure, but they are on my, are they? I've been so busy and a little bit distracted of late. And, you know, I'm not Wonder Woman. I just have to acknowledge that, as if you didn't know. But yes, anyway, so I will do better and get these prompts up because they are very lovely. And the prompts are all from some of the world's most famous or classic or profound book. Hey, Julianne, how are you going? Hey, Debbie, how are you, darling? And I've got a quote for each of these to act as our prompt to create some art from it, but you could pick any from these books or similar author or whatever you like. It's just to get the ball rolling. As you saw me with Mermay, sometimes the prompt featured in there, sometimes it didn't. There was a mermaid, and that's all we can hope for, right? So that's all good. As long as you're doing the art, that's good. That's all they're here for. But the prompts that I've used from the books that are here, so Huckleberry Finn, On Golden Pond, Les Miserables, Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion. I'm doing a live. Katie, I'll call you back. It's my sister. The colour purple. I love the quote from the colour purple that is here. Some people may find it offensive, but because it's from one of the most profound books ever, we can deal with it. It's okay. The Bell Jar, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Colour Straps. Anyway, all of the names, these are all names of new watercolours that are in this new set. I never thought that I would leave them in the tin, but actually I'm quite liking it. Oh, and the thing is, I didn't bring back I took my watercolours to a workshop that I attended. I wasn't teaching, although I have exciting information for you. Not quite yet. I haven't got the dates quite yet, but I'm going to have my first in-person workshop coming up. It's been quite a long time. It's been since before the pandemic. Okay, so what did I even get up to? Yes, I'm loving them in the tin as this set, because as with the no, actually, I was going to say as with the bright set, no, that had a cool mixing set. There's a warm mixing set in the neutral set, but this has a cool and a warm mixing set of colours, as well as some extraordinary colours and a lot of granulation. Very, very, very high pigmentation. These are absolute top of the Washi premium pigments, colours, etc. And they're part of the colour library. Then the colour library, I'll just put the camera on that. I'll just quickly show you the colour library. Now, I did do a video earlier in the week showing this, so pardon for members that are seeing this repeated, but the art won't be repeated. We'll do something different. And so this is the colour library. These are tubes of watercolour, like this, like this. These aren't in the sets, I don't think. I think I've got them in rainbow formation here, but I'm just showing the boxes because I think they're lovely. So here we go. On the back is all of your pigment information. These are very, very high quality watercolours in tubes. The reason I love watercolour in tubes is because you can make inks out of it, sprays out of it, pans out of it, put it into any pan you like, etc. So the colour library has just a wonderful watercolour set, because you can do just so much with it. And this new edition is the book truck. So it's a little mobile colour library, if you will. And that's why the names are taken from books, as with the colour library set over there. The two sets are places where you like to read, maybe by the fireplace and by the beach. So you've got a cooler and a warmer set in the big colour library. And the mobile library does have these colours that are in that set. They're just essential colours you can't live without. Well, I'm speaking for myself, but they have to be in this set. And as well as colours that are not in that set. These are new colours. So if you need to have everything, this is your excuse to have it all. Penny says they are the best, talking about the colour library. Now this is the colour library here. And I've put these into one of my Fantastic palettes with the little mermaid scales. And just love and adore using them. I've had I had a stressful event last week, and everything is fine, but you know, your body takes a while to recover from something that's really high stress, and you really got to nurture yourself because the rest of life still goes on. So you've got to fit in that recovery within everything else that's going on in your life. And I find that doing art is just so beneficial. Like I said, I went and did my workshop. I didn't get to life drawing this week. I couldn't. When I went into class, I felt I was anxious and not quite beside myself, but not within my own body, if you know what I mean. And it took a while, but once we actually started painting and I started just settling down, playing with these colours, I just felt so much better. So I'm just saying that because it just reiterates to me again just how important creativity is. And if you're into drawing and painting, you've got to prioritise it and let it help you. Anyway, I'm going to pop these little guys. They're like little tiny lollies. And these are half pans. So they're bigger than the Euphoria. And for some reason, I don't have the Euphoria on my desk either. I'm bereft of watercolour to compare it. So all of the different watercolour sets, do you need them all? No, you don't. You could just have one, whichever one appeals to you. But if you love colour and if this is your thing, of course you want them all. So I always put in a lot of effort to make sure that there's as many different colours as you can have, so that you can have as much fun as you can possibly squeeze in or squeeze out of a little box like that. So what are we doing now? I'm not even sure if I'm going to work off a prompt. There's 15 prompts. Because we had Mermay, which was a prompt every day, we're just taking it a bit easy. And you might want to work on one prompt for a couple of days. You might do all of them in one day. I don't know. It's up to you. Totally up to you. That's the joy of a creative prompt. Now, I haven't, in our Facebook group, if you've been uploading your gorgeous mermaid artwork, Popcorn and Zorro will do a little trawl through the beautiful mermaids, and they will have some little surprises for people. So make sure you've uploaded your work in our Facebook group. It's free to join, and it's just very beautiful, full of beautiful, lovely, kind-hearted people. Now, this, if you haven't seen it, is the Flip Journal and the new Flip Pad, watercolour pad. Beautiful watercolour paper, love it so much. It's got a texture on the front, like a canvas texture, and it is smooth on the back. So you've got a cold press and a hot press, basically. The way to remember it is hot press, ironed, it's flatter. So this is, you've got both sides that you can use, and this has been made specifically so you can pull off the pages and use them however you like. On the inside of I'm just doing the whole tour, okay? I'm the tour guide here. If you wanted to make a journal, the reason I wanted to do the flip pad is because I love making travel journals, and A5 is just a really good size. So I thought, well, I've got the inside here, we'll make that into, so you've got a little cover there, and you can make a little journal. You can use it however you like, collage, whatever, or not at all. And of course these were created with watercolour, maybe in ArtVent a couple of years, last year or a couple of years ago, I can't quite remember. Okay, so that's the flip pad. And, oh, what have we got in here? Oh, this is from the video I did the other day. I was playing with the new watercolours, which have got some really serious granulating colours in there, more of your deep and darks, the most unbelievable Caput Mortem, which is a purplish brown, and it is a highly granulating colour. It's divine, especially when you start mixing it in with the purples and things. I'll show you, we'll do something. But this is them here, mixing it with gouache and mixing it also with marzipan twists. When I was playing the other day, experimenting, you get a very oil paint-like experience, and I love oil paint, but it doesn't dry, and it is a problem for me in a book, in a journal. So mixed media is not that great. This is swatching out various colours, comparing them to the nearest friend in the colour library. So this is the new Bell Jar, which is a French ultramarine. And I just give my colours beautiful, fanciful names. I find them easier to remember. And you still have their serious name right next door to them. But why not give it a beautiful name? Why? Well, French ultramarine is actually, sounds very nice, but some of them have got boring names. But we have French ultramarine, the Odyssey and 20,000, no, the Odyssey and Around the World in 80 Days. But these are the nearest blues, and this is the new colour library. This is the difference in the yellows, this is the difference in the greens, this is the new colour library, this is Secret Garden. These are the indigos, one's Dorian Grey, it's a Payne's Grey, the other is an actual indigo. So they're similar, but they do different things. They are different. And the red in the new colour library, the book truck, is unbelievable. It's amazing. The purple in it is just so intense. So sometimes intense colours can be harder to work with if you're new to watercolour, and if you want more of a soft effect, you just add more water, but they're a little bit more intense to work with. But once you know that's what you're getting, that's what you're in for, and you get that fulsome release of colour, it's just heaven. So it's very swish-swashy. So I'm just going to have a quick look through here. I don't know why Zozzy barks. I'm just got to just tell him I'm bringing him inside because it's too annoying. Zoz. Good boy. Sorry, I just had to bring Zorro in. Because he's being a naughty one. Okay, so this is, I've sprayed through watercolour. This is the swatch. Oh, do I feel like, I'm not sure if that's what I feel like doing, painting over that. I think I feel like just painting on white paper. Just straight on the watercolour paper. Penny says she loves all the watercolours, can't wait to get the new palette. Yeah, because it's like, I'm just a nut for paper and a nut for watercolour and inks and pencils and everything else. And because I only use my art supplies, I don't have time to use anything else, and I don't want to use anything else. I don't want things that I don't like. So we're not having any of that. We're not into stuff here, we're only into amazement. All right, okay. Just got a little important message there. That's great. So, I just want to show you this. I don't know what this is going to look like on here. Do I care? So, sorry, and this is the flip journal. Exactly the same paper as the flip pad. But instead of having the gum here to make it a pad that you tear off that way, I did the gum down this side, so it's more like a book. So if you want to keep it as a book, you can. What you have to be careful of, the gum is made so that you can release it easily. If this gets too wet, it will start, this will split, because that's another way of making the pages release. And it's a water-soluble gum. So what you can do is just not get it wet in the middle, or you can tape this and just secure it a little bit more, but I haven't had any trouble yet. It's been fine. Now I've got a thing here of, now let me have a look. So, okay, well this is the red, so this is Les Miserables. Oh, sorry, let's get serious about this for a second. I'm just going to get a little bit of inspiration. Les Miserables. On the Google machine, let's have a look at images. Oh, I love that little painting from it. Well, let's do a little windswept girl. And let's go monochrome. Let's see how we go. This isn't deep and dark enough on the background here. Have I got anything? Well, this isn't. So this is a watercolour. So whatever I put over it, it's going to, the background might pick up and flare up. Well, I don't have to use one of these backgrounds. These are too joyful for the miserables, right? They're too joyful. We can't be doing that. We're going to go here. And I'm just going to use this colour. I've got to show you this red. I've had it on the brush. It's probably dried up by now. Okay. I'm just sort of, oh, I'm dying. Okay. It's just so intense, that red. So this is a cadmium-free red. So on the side of the little label, you can see that what the official name, or more serious name, of the pigment is. It's a cadmium-free red. The reason we say reds used to always contain cadmium, that's what gives it this intense colour, but now we have synthetic versions, because cadmium is very poison. We don't want it in our systems. Yes, we don't want cadmium. That's been many pigments from the olden times are not good for the body and the mind. Not being French and only having done school French, schoolgirl French, I don't know if mind is, what mind is in French, and if it is a feminine or a positive masculine form, so just excuse me. What I am enjoying is the push and pull of the brush as we do just some little hairs of the little street urchin. And we'll get a bit of blue in there. So we've got the red one, blue of the flag of Vive la Révolution. But look at just the range of colour, how intense that is just on that first swipe. Sometimes that can be, I know you would think the more pigment the better, and that can be true, obviously, but sometimes lighter colours, convenience mixes can be easier to work with, because this is very intense. Okay, perfect for what I'm doing. Now I do want to add in a little bit of blue. Sorry about Zorro, he's just silly. This is actually the French ultramarine. This is Belger. So that's, the pigment is a French ultramarine. and I'm going, if I mix, this will form a purple, so I'm going to let it drop in there, and it's going to be, because this is a warm blue and this is a very warm red, obviously. This is a cool blue. When you're starting going to more towards cyans and aquas, this is a very cool blue. So when we mix these very warm colours, we'll get a purple, 2 primaries, but we're going to get a very, like a wine red, a claret red, a maroon, burgundies, those sort of autumn reds, and we'll let that go down into the blue and let them connect through in there. And I'll get that, just fill my brush up with a little bit more, just so I've got a touch of it. And maybe I'll come in with these, if you want to work in a limited palette, so even if I just use these 2 colours, it's not a monochrome palette, but a limited palette, I'm still going to have, when I mix them, I'm still going to have a range of colours, and the range of colours I'm going to have is going to be very nice. So I'll actually use my little mixing tray to, and the set comes with this mixing tray. Originally in the tin sets there were 12 colours, 6 at the top, 6 at the bottom. This has got 15 colours. You can fit 7 in here quite easily, just shuffle them along. And depending how you want to arrange things, you might not want to put them in this type of tin. I've just got a little magnet under there, but it does just squeeze in neatly between those. So I can add in a few more. So I was thinking I might add in pigment pebbles. The space is there, so you could add a little brush perhaps. But I'm going to put some pigment pebbles in there. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe a few more of the colour. I don't know yet. But also just to show you that this type of set, you can lift the little inner tray out. Sometimes it's easier to set things up like that, but when you lift that out, you can paint from the little tray like that, and you do have another whole little set of mixing spaces underneath it. And under this type of tin, you've got the thumb ring. And it's not a stand, although you could use it like that, I guess. But it's actually so that if you're painting with this outside, you can just loop that through your thumb. You're sort of balancing it on your hand, and you actually still have a hand to hold a brush or paper towel or whatever else you would like to. You've got a little bit of freedom of movement still, rather than holding a brush like this and your palette like that. That's what it's intended for. It's quite old-fashioned, really. I've got some gouache up in here, and I'll just let that, it's quite handy because it pastelizes things. Now I've got my French ultramarine there. I'm going to grab a little bit of my, so this is Les Mis, and this is Bell Jar. So the quote from Bell Jar that I've got in Juice the June, so this is a book by Sylvia Plath, very profound writer, and this is the quote that I selected from this. There were trillions. I took a deep breath and listened to the old brag of my heart. I am, I am, I am. And you can read that as, well, I am, I am, I am. I am what I am. Popeye, the Popeye version. So I'm just mixing. Now these 2 colours are very strong. So I'm going to pop a bit of this, and look at that beautiful maroon that I'm getting. Oh, it's just like it's just got a beautiful colour. I'm going to add a bit more water. Wow, that's like a gorgeous navy, but I might add a bit more of this one, get more of a gosh, and now I need to say hello. Yes, so the workshop will be in September, and it's watercolour. That's what I can tell you. And we will be making our own watercolours with a special guest. That is the plan. So we'll just stay tuned, and hopefully that will be exactly what is happening. And I'm very excited about it. Now she's looking too happy, so we'll have to address that because that is not the experience of this at all. Probably need to make her hair look thinner and dirtier and oilier and more urchin-like rather than being full and like she's clean. I'm going to add in a chin, but I don't know if I want to. I'm just going to let things sit like, oh, that is nice, that shadow. I've got a brush full of water. I'm really just pulling, had a bit of that purple in my brush. It's a very useful little combo for purples. You're not going to get this, that gorgeous bright purple. Oh, and I was saying the quote for the colour purple from this is, I think it pisses God off if you walk by the colour purple in a field somewhere and don't notice it. I just love that quote. I have never read The Colour Purple, but I have the movie, and I love the music in it. Sad movie though. But you know, the profound experiences are, I'm watching a very not profound. I couldn't get through the whole thing, but I'm always embarrassed to say what I watched last night, but it was good, just stuff, you know. But yeah, Roadhouse with Jack Gyllenhaal. Oh, it's just so bad. But it is what it is. And hey, excuse me for that. Zozzy, my goodness, you're making me go deaf. It's so high pitched, dude. Lower. Let the plums drop. And lower I'm going to dab the colour to all the granulation. To let's see what's living under this dark puddle of colour. I can always put the full strength back on, but I love dabbing to see what's going on underneath, and I'm getting beautiful granulation. Of course, it's picking up a pattern from this paper towel. Okay, so I am going to soften that all off. I think I'm going to even do that a little. Yes, that's better. I'll let that be strong, but I am going to come in with that. Okay, and then I can just play along with this. We've got our red, white and blue of the Revolution, and I'm just adding a little bit more water and stealing a little bit of this colour to get a bit more tonality. Is that the word? Let that bleed into it a little. Oh gosh, that's nice. I've got different pigments in my brush now, so I'm getting half of it's the purpley and half it's the red, and then it's run into a bit of dry and it's bleeding out here, lots of water, and we've got lots of difference in there. And just let that sit. And then because I've got another whole paper, I'm just going to pop that to one side, let it dry for a second. So I feel like I've done my prompt for today. Well done, Jane, pat on back. Okay, let's flip It's flip pad after all. Oh, I forgot about her. Hello. This is playing around with the Marzipan Twist Gouache, getting this nice surface happening. This is a bit of watercolour in here, a bit of pot of gold happening, and pencil over the top of everything. Just, excuse me for 1 second. Susie, come and sit with me. Your job is not to bark. Your job is to be my friend. Come here, Bubby. If you had to be a guard dog, I don't know if we'd be super desperate or that's very lucky, because I don't know what you could guard us against, to be honest. Oh, you want cuddles. Oh, you're a dear boy. Okay, I'm just going to try and move him. Move his butt around that way there. If you sit there, I can pat you from time to time, and I can still do my art. I need to do my art, Zozzy. Anyway. Oh, my little smunchin. Maybe I have Munchausen's disease, not Munchausen's. Smunchins, because I want to smunch you all the time. Zozzy, get back, stop it. Oh, you want to draw with me? Oh, that's very nice. You're a very good boy. Right, I've got to show you this colour. It's so nice. I don't know what I'm painting. Probably should paint Zorro's butt. That's what's pointed at me right now. Hi, Kerry, how you going? I'm just having a look at questions quickly. Hey, Nancy. Jen Wren says, you should be painting a mermaid. Well, this isn't quite a normal colour for a mermaid, but why not? Let's do a little mermaid instead as well. Let's go big juicy brush, and let's go. We'll start with undulating line. So from that, there's her butt there, and like her, mermaids don't necessarily have knees, but, oh, excuse me, I think she sort of does. So that might be her waist, that's her pelvis. And I've got a nice little watery puddle happening. Oh, this is, look at that. Sorry, it's so cute. Oh, the pigment. How could you be excited about an earthy colour, I guess, but I am. Oh gosh, you're a very beautiful dog. Your earthy colours. I'm very excited about you. Oh, you funny man. And this colour up here is called Persuasion, which is a Jane Austen. Look at those colours together. Can you see? Can you see? I might even add in a little bit of the colour purple. Maybe on this side. I have a thing about purples and browns together. I just have a total thing about it. It's a thing. And let's let this go right off the page rather than scrimping. And we'll get a bit of this purple in there as well. Oh my gosh. They're just so nice. So I was just using these colours and a little bit of I was trying to work in a limited palette. And for me, that is limited, as you would know. So you know that I love to use my hot pinks and my neons and things, but this is still going to be nice and lively. These these granulate these colours, which means they just do their own thing, have a little party, and don't dry in a super smooth way. They do their own bananas. I'm going to add a little bit of this green in. I think this poor little mermaid got stuck in an oil slick, or maybe she's been helping the creatures that got stuck in one, and she's doing her best to help everybody. This is Painted Veil, which is from the Colour Library. This is it in its pan version. And it's just such a helpful colour, and when we start mixing it with this, beautiful for skin tones, but it does have a little bit of opacity. It's a bit of a different colour. When colours, and this is not a rule because there's always exceptions, but usually when the colour is exactly as it is in the pan, it does have a bit of opacity to it. It's just the way the pigment works. When colours look almost black in the pan, but you know that that is a yellow, even though it looks so dark, you know that that is green, even though it looks like a swatch of black. That is so, it looks like a swatch of black, that looks like a swatch of black, but you know that they are colours. They're very translucent or transparent, so that it's just the way that that colour is, and it's just a nice high quality coloration. So what am I doing here? Oh, the rubbish man, that's right. What are we doing with our arms? Let's go into a neck. Let's arch this head back. And because I'm working on the textured side of the paper, oh, look at the view. I just got to show you this dog. See, I can't take him in dog shows because he would win everything. So it's just not fair on all the other dogs. It's just so beautiful. Aren't you? Oh, you are a good boy. I'm going to use a bit of that purple that I made before. And do I want a shoulder up? I've got this here, so if that was her neck, I'm going to have this shoulder here. I'm just going to push that purple up. I'm not sure why I'm doing that arm yet, so let me just, because I can't decide, I'm just going to and before everything dries off, where's my Dame Judy? I might come in with a little bit of this Dorian Grey. Very, very intense colour, like some of these others. I'm going to come in. I think she needs a bit more bidet. Going to let that dry. Might even use this as her hair colour, this dark colour, and let it bleed in because it's all still wet. So whatever I add will bleed in a little bit. Rather than do flowing hair, I'm going to do full hair. In more of a shape, sculptural hair. water, let that come in here. Just because I can, I'm just going to pop it up in there. Now I do have to watch out for that, getting that too wet in the crack there, because that'll open up the gum. It'll dissolve the gum that's holding it together, but I'm not going to keep this as a pad the whole time because I'm adding a lot of water. It's going to settle into the pattern of the paper. And okay, so her head is quite big, so that's why I needed to do that bit first. And oh, I just mixed a little bit of the blue. Oh, no, Zozzy. And that purple, I have a bit of, and it just made the most gorgeous colour. Oh, that's a bit too strong, the right part of the face. So I'll just tap that back a little bit. And in fact, I might just go in down the middle of the nose here. I'll take this opportunity. So I feel like her shoulder is coming up like that. So she's lifting her shoulder up, so that's okay, that's all good. And this, that. Sorry, I'm just walking through anatomy. Oh, shut up. Zozzy. I'm going to let this shoulder come up in front of her face. And her little booblets will be there-ish. Just using my brush to lift some of the colour off. Just so I'm getting some variation and shading in already. And getting a little arm to form. And I've got some strange proportions here. What happens if she's doing this? That's her elbow and her arms coming back up like this. Wrist. Oh, a bit of an odd shape, but anyway. Just those initial layers. Thumb would be visible. Might even be here. And just quite a theatrical bows. I'm just going to add a bit of water. It's going to be hard to lift such a staining colour off. Well, not hard, like that's not hard, but it might not get all of it off. So I'm just want that shape, and I can come in with my brush as things dry and let things happen. But we have a little bit of a Josephine Baker situation here, I think, is what we're going to be having. Theatrical pose. Loving some of the weird marks that I've got underneath things. This here, I'm not sure if I like the green. I either need to go over the green, try and get rid of it all. Just let a little bit more of it come in. So I'm going to go for the little bit more of it. This is not quite right here, is it? This is Watership Down. Oh, that's, I think, getting better. There is something very nice happening in here. Not there, but there. So I'll need to, I'll just let it do its thing. I need more variation there. Okay. So maybe I'll come in with a bit more purple there. I was going to come in with blue, but I think maybe this purple and this purple. I'll grab a bit of that too. And they're not undies, her scales, it's her body, so I'm going to add some little shapes in here. And while things are all still wet and wild and wonderful like that, this is Fluffy White Clouds. I'm just going to drag this through. I won't get any colour release, but it will make a mark in the paper, and then if this doesn't work the way I want it to, I will use my sketch size pencil as well. But this is working, so that's good. I'm just reorganising my undulating line and just telling you what these lines are doing a little bit, telling myself more than anything. And what the pastel will do is take on, because this is still wet, suck up the colour. So I'm getting not white lines, I'm getting a pastelised version of whatever's sitting underneath it. Don't think I need to do it here. And I'll end up using white actually up here to sort that out, but another spot could be here to add a little bit of, rather than just a blob of hair, to add some maybe we can make it look like coral, or like the hair is floating, because hello mermaid. And I think we need a few little stray hairs too. That's like a bit of a ring there. Mix these ones together. This white halo around her face probably is no good, so we'll sort that out as well. So just by having some little stray lines around things, it says this is a mass of hair. It's not a solid object, it's not a hat. Because if it was a hat, then it would have that more solid look. So I'm going to give her a little bit of, this is just dry enough. So I might move this to one, just angle it so I can have a good look. Oh, I have to go in a second, guys. My goodness. Oh, thank you. Painter's Osmaid. Oh my God. Hairy. He doesn't like the water, so that wouldn't. That would be quite the creature. Let's dip into a little bit of pink. And then we'll let it dry and I'll have to go off. Got to go and do my PT. Make sure I'll stay in one piece and I don't hurt my back again. So I'm just seeing if I can capture. Ugh, still looks like a mitten, but I will get there. Hands are funny things. Sometimes they flow easily and sometimes they don't. And sorry about the barking. Yeah, sometimes they flow easily, end of sentence, and sometimes they don't. But Usually all of the other little lines that you get underneath them on your journey to a hand is makes it all worthwhile. And also if you have a look at the great masters, Leonardo or Michelangelo, their books, when they're drawing hands, they're trying all different things, and not all of them are great either. So if the masters can take their time refining the hand, so can we. So what I'm doing there is just adding that bit of water and then just lifting that off. So I'll still have a shadow there, but I'm just lifting that off. This is the fabulousness of this paper, that it's allowing me to do that, because it doesn't mind being wet, and eventually it won't like being rubbed, but at the moment it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is let this dry, and then I'll come in and add our next details when I see you next time. I'll take her little paunch off. She'll be happy with that. Give her a little bit of a Zempic. There you go, love. Oh, well, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry about that noise. It's absolutely very loud. For me, it is anyway. And I shall see you next time. I think you should go and paint a mermaid, or get out your watercolours, have a little play. The new watercolour set, I've put the link there in the description. You can, what else do I need to show you? You can join the channel, you can subscribe, you can become a member, and then at janedavenport.com you can see all of the different art supplies as well as video. I haven't done a video for this of how to use it yet, but I'm doing it now, see? Look, even though I forgot to record this. Bye! So,